This is to me, best wishes, Johnny Herbert.
Go to see F1.
Yeah.
Today I have a very special video for you, the interview with my friend Ken Novak, who is true F1 fan, who's following races for many decades. He will show us his collection of books, posters, car models, autographs, and many more, and also give us a small interview. Enjoy!
I started collecting with books. Well, these are the first ones I bought when I was at the first Grand Prix I was at in Watkins Glen, New York.
What year was that?
1977. There's a poster right here of that. This middle poster is the first year at Watkins Glen in 1977. Cost $1. When I got the poster, I had it taped up in the walls of my bedroom, my garage when I got married, and then now here I finally framed it. It looks like it's been through a lot, but actually that's the way posters come nowadays. Well, it's Mario Andretti in the first car, Niki Lauda in the second car, Patrick Depailler in a six-wheel Tyrrell, Jody Scheckter in the Walter Wolf Racing out of Canada, and Hans Stuck in the Brabham. So that one was won by, I would think, James Hunt. And he's not pictured there.
Do you remember your feelings like when you first time went to see
I couldn't
F1
wait
track?
to get back there again. That's my first feeling. That's my favorite one. So I double matted it and turned out good.
Why is your favorite one?
It's always been close to my books. So this is always above the books. Now it's above this. People see it most often. This is a brand new one from 2000. Never been on a wall without being framed and matted. But it kind of looks similar to that one. Now that one looks, down here, it's got a part that's kind of ripped out, but it makes it worthy. These are the 3 programs I got from Watkins Glen. So I was at all 3 of these races.
So this is the first race you have ever attended, right?
First Formula 1 race.
Mm-hmm.
First race, I don't have a picture of the car that won. I seen the car, but this is the first time I was in Montreal. So that was in 1987. The race was canceled, but we still went there. And we got to see some of the sport races, but then we went up north of Montreal. We went camping. First book. It had to be Niki Lauda because I was a Niki Lauda fan. This one, this one, this one, this one, this one. And then this one has a whole bunch in here on Niki Lauda. This is just Ferrari. Where the hell did that go? More Niki Lauda. Oh, this was the first book I ever bought. It was from a publisher out of Iola, Wisconsin. 76 Road Racing Annual, softbound, but it had Formula 1, IMSA, and Formula 5000. And it had lots of good photography, different types of tracks that they talked about, craziness of the racing. Back when racing was a lot of fun, not professional like it is today. I just got a new shirt with Ronnie Peterson and JPS Lotus, and it was at the 1975 Monza Grand Prix in Italy. So I bought it. Cost me more for shipping across from Europe than it did for just to get here. But that was my first book. And it just kept on going from those to the new ones. And then I bought them, most of them, they're all on sale. Some are $80, $90 books, but to get them for $20-some. Other than that, for Formula 1, here's my little Niki Lauda corner. It's a picture I took in 1978 at Watkins Glen when he was driving an Alfa Romeo.
Oh, that's your own picture.
Yep. That's my own one. It's probably has a graphic on the back. Reutemann wins Grand Prix at Glen. So it's got the results there. From here. Reutemann, Carlos or Alan Jones, Jody Scheckter, Jean-Pierre Jabouille, Emerson Fittipaldi, Patrick Tambay, James Hunt is in 7th. Derek Daly, his son, is racing in Indy cars now. He finished in 8th. You know, I collected all these things out of newspapers, and when I came here, I got them, wanted to match them up.
So how did you follow all the information from, you know, races and everything? Was it mostly newspapers?
At that point it was, because that was from a newspaper. Before that race, and that was a U.S. Grand Prix, so they did more coverage of it. If it was just a regular Grand Prix, they'd have maybe a paragraph.
That's
I'd
it.
keep those too. But that's how you found out, and then I started getting Road and Track, and then Racer Magazine, which used to be on track in a big like auto sport or auto newsprint sport paper. And my other job, taking photographs.
Oh,
These
nice.
are all my photographs you see here. So you'll see a lot of Formula One ones. This is, I don't know if you want to look at it, before I went digital, up in Montreal. Saw F1 and stuff. And then these are some old Formula One cars here, 2 Ferraris. And one thing you see in this one, is it the top one or the bottom one? One of them has the Marlboro sponsorship on. Oh, it's the bottom one right there. Usually you don't get that on. Just little things that I have. And then Kimi, he became my favorite driver after Niki Lauda.
Really? Why?
I don't know, I always needed to have somebody. My son bought me that as a Christmas present, so I had to get it framed. But I like it. Juan Manuel Fangio. That's his signature. Here's the artist's signature. And the rest is... And I looked at a signature that he had on motorsports.com, and it was exactly like that. So I know, well, I was right there when he was doing it. He was speaking. He was signing autographs. There wasn't a big long line, so I think I was only like one person in line. But he was at this high top table, and he had posters, so I got the poster. And he just signed it. You know, what do you say to somebody that you can't communicate with? Yeah, that's a nice one. First 5-time world champion. I didn't know Formula One at that time, but early 70s when I first started getting into it, 72, 71, 72, 73 I would say. But then after I graduated in 76, all hell broke loose. I started going to the races, and that's how, you know, my license plate is just trying to get people to think, yeah, maybe that's what I got to do. Put it on my bucket list. Go to see a Formula One race. It's one of my favorites ever taken. It's
your own photo?
Yep. Niki Lauda, 1983. You can see if you look real close, chain link fence. I had my camera. It was a telephoto lens. This part was right against the fence. You can't even see that. And it's not a digital, so you gotta focus it. So I had to focus on a number of drivers, and you can see he's looking this way. So he's looking into the next corner he's coming into. So he's way over on this part of the track, and then he's gonna just dart in this way. But that's how you find that. And they wanted me to just have that in there, cut this car out. I said, no, that's teammates. You want the teammates together. But this is Thierry Boutsen and Alessandro Nannini in the Benetton Formula One team.
Which year is that? 86?
86. So yeah, we had my 2 years in Detroit. This is one that my son and both my sons, Nick and Ryan, were both getting in line to get Jack Brabham to sign one. You know, he was just like in a line. Well, I got 2 kids here. I got pictures of them. They're slides. They're probably like this big. Got my hands around them. No, Jack Brabham has his hands around them. And they, got the autograph, and I said, could you just put the date on there? So he didn't put the date of the day that I got the picture. That was the date of the race, 1959. That's him right there. He is a 3-time world champion. Here's one from my digital camera. Last time I was there in 2018.
In Montreal, right?
Yeah. And my camera takes 17 frames a second. I can take a movie if I want.
Mm-hmm.
So I got this whole accident from starting up in here in this corner. It comes down like this and then this way. This car moved over way too much, pushed him into the guardrail over here. He came back out this way. This is all carbon fiber from his car breaking up after the connection. And you could see that he's in the air. And I have, 16 other pictures for that little bit. And I just chose that one to fill up a frame when I moved in here. And these are just one from Road America in 2020, a UOP Shadow 50th anniversary. I enjoy the Can-Am cars. My first original race was the last original Can-Am series, 1974, August. I said, by the time Road America comes next year, I'll have a camera. That's what I put my money toward. Bought a camera for Christmas. Another one of my pictures from Watkins Glen, New York. Alan Jones, future world champion. Driving for the Frank Williams team. All the Saudi sponsorship.
So tell me please more about how exactly you fell in love with racing in general and then Formula One.
It probably was cars in general with my older brother, Mike. He is 7 years older than me. I followed in his footsteps, basically. My dad was into playing tuba in polka bands, bass, and I wasn't into that. And he knew nobody in the family was into it, so he did his own thing, and I just followed Mike. And old cars turned to classic old cars and classic racing cars, and he is the first one that took me to Road America, and I fell in love with it since.
And how did you find out about Formula One?
Formula One, it must have came in that first year, looking for certain things in the newspaper or on the sports and stuff about any kind of racing, and Formula One was the last one that they would cover. They might cover IndyCar once, twice in Wisconsin because they're doing Milwaukee Mile plus Indy 500. But other than that, it was just basically your local races, and that's it.
So the newspaper information, just small paragraph reading about Formula One, and that small paragraph was enough for you to fall in love with the sport?
Yeah, you never knew who was going to win back then. You had the Ferrari team, you had the Ligier team, you have the March team, you have the Tyrrell, Williams. You had all these teams, Ferrari and Nepal. Everyone could build their own engine, design their own car under certain guidelines. And it evolved into something that I don't like anymore. I want the old days back. But, that's my own view.
Which season was your first season you followed?
I would have to say 75, as much as I could about the Formula One season.
And you were just
75.
reading that about it in newspaper.
Newspaper, and plus I was getting road and track at the time. And they would have stuff that was a month and a half old when you would read it. So you probably would know about it more, but you would learn more details of it now.
And which Grand Prix again was the first? The one in Detroit? The one you attended?
Watkins Glen, New York.
Oh, Watkins Glen, New York.
The Toyota US Grand Prix in 1977.
Do you remember the moment, I mean, when you saw the car for the first time? I mean, on that race day, on that race weekend? Or maybe there was the sound.
Yeah, you heard the sound coming into the track. You didn't see the car, you heard the sound. And yeah, at that time you had flat 12s, V12, V8s, V6s, flat 6s. You had a variety of different sounds coming from the engines. And it always was a great thing to, have to remind you of the racing that's about to come. First time I saw a car, I don't know what I really thought. They look cool. But yeah, it's not the same now.
And in that track, on that race, I mean, did you support anyone, or you were just enjoying the moment?
That would have been in 77. I would have to say I was still supporting Niki Lauda, but I would appreciate if Andretti won, and he didn't. But he won one of the U.S. Grand Prix in Long Beach.
So why Lauda?
He was a nobody, and Ferrari hired him. And I just thought, well, yeah, you got to go after somebody that's a nobody. Ferrari's a good team. They know what they're doing. And sure enough, he could have been 5-time world champion. But he chose, one race that he shouldn't have raced in, but he did.
Do you think it was the right decision? Or?
Yeah, because the race there was no rain or anything in the race. In 76, he lost the race to James Hunt for the World Championship because of the rain. But not when he nearly killed himself in the German Grand Prix in 76, was it? Yeah.
So the season when he had an accident, I mean,
76.
He was off many races, and then he came back, and I believe that was Suzuka, right? When there was a final race.
Yeah,
and
when he lost the championship.
Yes, and he just stopped his car in the middle
after like 4 laps.
Yeah, so do you think that was the right decision?
For what Niki Lauda did?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
I do.
You didn't feel frustrated when that happened? Because
I was, but I couldn't put that against him because I have my own experiences. I got to show you this. On July 5th, 1976, my 72 Mustang, everything that was in this area was pushed out that way. You can see where the tree or the telephone pole came in 6 feet above the ground. Look at how the seats are pushed out this door.
So you knew yourself how was it to be in an accident?
Right. Now you know why I felt,
Tell me, have you ever tried any sim racing, the simulators, anything?
No, I watch my kids do it. Do it down at the Chicago Auto Show once in a while with Cadillac, or at the track with Cadillac. But no, I don't have any interest in it. If I would, then I would want to buy one for here. These were postcards, I believe, or maybe they're regular photos that Mike Farrell, my ex-brother-in-law, sent me from the museum in Italy, the Ferrari Museum. So then now this is has more from the museum. This was Indianapolis. I believe.
So this is
This is all
Indianapolis?
F1 in Indianapolis. So that's got to be Michael Schumacher right there.
Wow. So which year is this?
It would say on the back of the photos. First place, Michael Schumacher, Germany.
USGP 2000. So, yeah.
People can't say, yeah, he's got a license plate like that, but he doesn't go places. No, I do. I do. I go to Formula One races. This is who does the early summer vintage in July. Brian Redmond. He used to always race Porsches in Europe and that. And the World Championship. He raced in Formula One a few times. I think he might have even raced on one of these UOP Shadows ones. But good sports car racer. Won a lot of races. Freddie. Dr. Freddie Alonso. No.
Why are you calling me like that?
I
Just because Fernando being
like
Freddy?
I like Freddie. I like the name Freddie. And then Jensen Button up there
Just one.
for the BAR Honda team. David Coulthard from the McLaren, West McLaren team. This is one of the first posters I got. And that was in Watkins Glen in '77. Yeah, I'm an old Formula One fan, don't you think?
Yes, it's amazing. I never met anyone like you before. The true fan.
You know, the guy who has gotten me into Formula One, John Grawl out of Madison, he's got so much more memorabilia stuff, but he doesn't have it on the walls. He has it in boxes. What good is that? Show it.
Yeah.
Like, I still got more. There's some die-cast cars in this one, and this one yet.
Tell me about this college picture.
Well, so this is just you try and draw something or put something together, and I tried to mix things together, and I think it worked really well. But it's all things that I enjoy at the time. I always like Coca-Cola, blackjack, IMSA racing, Goodyear racing. There's a drink with ice cubes coming in. You can see that, a little mint up there. Marlboro, I used to smoke back then. 89, yeah, I quit in 91. Playboy Bunny, Canadian Moose. These guys are good because these are in the map of India, and then this guy's not. You can see where the drawing is. You know. But he fit in there. It looks like this guy's a little taller than this guy. Of course, somebody having a drink. Alfa Romeo. Then I was running out of certain things to do.
What year was this made?
1989. In my first year of art class. And that poster, or black charcoal rendering, they saved my name on it, but they had to keep the charcoal farther away from the whiteness of the frame or the mat. They didn't want that. If it's been in there well over 20 years, if it starts crumbling, the charcoal will fall into like a hole in the bottom, so it doesn't get onto the whiteness. And that was fun to do. You started off by making the background all dark, not as dark as the hair, but darker than the outsides. And then you erase, darken, erase, and darken to get what you want.
What about this two?
Vic Guilford, probably last summer. I saw him at Road America at a vintage event. It wasn't the spring vintage, or it might have been the spring vintage instead of the summer vintage. or fall vintage. So he wasn't well known to the group of people that was going to be there, but I knew he was going to be there, so I got the print and bought it, and he signed it then. The other one is another good one. Jim Hall and John Surtees in the Can-Am, probably from 65, 66. They both signed it. And that's at Road America. Coming out of turn 12, 13. This is my favorite. I liked it because if you look at this car here, it's a Type 57 SC, and they say it's like a $14 million car. They had that there, and one of the, I think this is his name here, I can't think of it offhand, but 57, yeah, number 57, owned it. And I have my son Nick drinking like a soda out of a can right next to it. And it's a $14 million car. Now it's sold for over $70 million. But they had that there. I saw this at the EAA museum, and then they had some of these Type 35s there. First and only time it's ever been at Road America, though. I gotta bring that back. Bugatti was always my favorite.
So this is 2005.
Yeah. But I used to have one of those. Mine was red, 86, that's what these were. 85s were straight across. 86, they split them up. Love that car. So Prost was there, Senna was there. That's Joachim Mas, probably. Niki Lauda. Alboreto. He's here. Lane Prost, okay. Lauda. Nelson Piquet, Mansell, and Alboreto. Nicky. But anyway, there's so many good drivers of that era. I don't know if I've ever had anyone that came out. I might have started following, I didn't like Ferrari winning a lot. I didn't want these guys to win a lot. I wanted other teams to win. But then it started dominating. The McLaren, Mercedes, and now, who knows?
So in the 80s, I mean, when Lauda retired, you didn't have your favorite driver. You kind of liked them all.
No, I might have came back to more IndyCar racing.
I see.
Or sports car racing, but
Why?
because it wasn't fun anymore. It was either these two guys winning all the time,
You mean Prost?
Prost and Senna, and then when Senna came here, Prost went to Ferrari, and they had the battle there.
Which one you like more?
Um,
Prost or Senna?
I'd have to go with Prost. Senna was good, but I don't know. Maybe he was too naive.
In terms of
His experience and his dedication. How did he? Oh, he died from something broken at the San Marino Grand Prix in Imola, '94.
So you mean he's naive in general, in life, or race in particular, or everything?
Well, I don't really know. Maybe I'm totally wrong on him right now. It's like, but his life was cut too short, so we'll never know.
How many races you attended?
We got 3 of them in the 70s, 77, 78, 79, and 83, 88, up to Montreal, which was canceled, but we still went. That was 88. and then 2000 or Indianapolis for the inaugural down there, and then I have to say 2002, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 to 2008 in Montreal. I think I did 9. 12 I did Austin, Texas. 17. Austin, Texas, 18, and then 2 other ones from Indianapolis.
So you attended many races in North America. Anything outside of North America?
No, I haven't been to Europe or South America. Just to Montreal
And US.
And the US.
Yes, but you have seen all of them pretty much. Phoenix,
Yeah.
Detroit. So
The only one I haven't and I won't go see is Las Vegas. I won't go see it. It's unless they come down at the price. I don't know.
So tell me, you have been on so many U.S. races, and you are a U.S. Formula One fan. So what do you think in terms of relationship of Formula One and United States? You know, it was always some issues with some races coming and going, was different races. Sometimes we never had any Grand Prix in U.S. some period. What's the difference in U.S. so the Formula One cannot get so popular? And vice versa.
I don't know how it got so popular, but everybody that I've talked to about Formula One said, yeah, I've been a fan since Netflix has come out. Mm-hmm. So they're using that as an excuse. I can't use that as an excuse. I love Formula One from many, many years before that. You know, Netflix, I've seen 2 seasons of it, but I missed a lot. I don't have Netflix, so I don't know what's being portrayed on there.
Yeah, I tried to watch it. I watched half episode of season 1 and another episode, and I just stopped. I mean, they talk about things I already know because I was following the races, right? What's the point? But yes, that's how it became so popular right now.
Here in America, I would think.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes, that's the whole reason. But before that, like in the 70s, in the 80s, in 90s, in 2000s.
It just was nothing. Because Bernie Ecclestone took control of it and made it the way he wanted it.
So what's the best race in person you attended?
I would have to say there's a tie for 2 of them. One was a rain race at Montreal, and the other one was another race at Montreal where the track was drying and Jenson Button came on to win at the end.
So you were there?
Yeah, 2011. Yeah, I was there.
It was very interesting to talk to Ken, listening to all the experience he had in racing and Formula One in particular. I really enjoyed our conversation. I hope you liked this interview and this video. Thank you so much for your attention. Bye bye.